June, Jesus unlocks new experiences. A 30-day experience with the greatest person ever.
Welcome to June. Jesus unlocks new experiences. A 30-day life-changing experience with the greatest person ever. Now, if you haven't been following the previous videos, you want to do well to go through the archives and watch all of them because they will enrich your spiritual growth and even your personal development. Now, one of the things we're talking about today is the power of God to walk on impossible situations. This entire environment is so inspiring. I love the coolness of the breeze as it caresses my face, and it's inspirational. And I think now about the time when Jesus told his disciples, you go over to the other side. They had a massive victory, feeding 5,000 men, and not counting the women and children, with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And Jesus wants to spend some time in prayer, so he tells his disciples, you go over to the other side, I'll catch up with you later. The Bible makes it clear that in the midnight hour, they see something that looks like a spirit to them. They were like, that has to be a ghost. They see a figure on the open sea, walking on water, and they're petrified. They had never seen anything like that before in their lives. Just imagine as we're going right now, you see an image somewhere in the distance, walking on water. How would you feel? Would you feel safe or secure? Would you feel extremely unsafe and insecure? Well, these guys were petrified to say the least. Remember Peter? Peter is one of those people who don't take no for an answer, who refuse to be intimidated by what other people are swallowed by. And so Peter says, Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you. And Jesus said, I'm the one. Come. Isn't that so compelling? That sometimes in our deepest fears, all we need is a divine call. All we need is a call of divine affirmation and assurance. All we need is that strong voice of divine leading that says, the storms might be crazy, the winds might be contrary, the adversity might be real, but you can come. And Peter steps outside of the boat. Don't worry, I'm not going to do that right now. Takes a step outside of the boat, and he steps on water, and he begins to walk. Now, by every law of science, man is not supposed to be able to walk on water. But when you're being inspired and being led by the Word of God, you will defy the laws of science and override the written codes that affect other people and walk into a new level of supernatural strength and supernatural support. And Peter began to walk on water. We don't hear of any other person, all of recorded history, walking on water, apart from Jesus and Peter. But when you have faith, when you're able to respond with faith in Jesus, you will do the miraculous. Well, as human as he was, at some point, Peter began to say to himself, this one is too good to be true. I'm feeling like a superhero right now, but it's too good to be true. And when he saw the winds and the waves, the text tells us that he became afraid and he began to sink in the water. There are things that you had overcome before in your life, but you became afraid and you began to sink in them again. Addictions that you had walked through before, but you became scared and unsure and you began to sink again. But what I like about Jesus is that he never leaves us sinking. So as soon as Peter began to sink and he cried, Lord, help me, Jesus grabs him by the hand and he leads him back to the boat, to a place of safety and security, to a place of solidity and assurance. You might feel like you're walking on water and you've taken more than you could chew, but Jesus says, I'm only a call away, and if you call me, I will answer you and I will redeem you and I will restore you. Now understand this. People say Jesus is my superhero, and I do agree, yes, he's a superhero. But beyond the exploits of Batman and Superman and Ant-Man and Flash Boy and Fireboy and every other boy, Jesus does not just show forth as a hero, but he makes heroes out of us. So out of the deepest fears of your life, there is a heroic miracle, testimony, promotion coming out of that. Out of what used to sink in before, He is lifting you and is raising you to not only walk on top of them, but to have an inspirational story that will outlast your life and your times and cause you to grow into the fullness of all that God has for you. I believe that is your situation. Out of the watery grave, you're rising with strength and with power. Out of the place of despondency and darkness, you're coming with newness of life. I believe that is happening for you right now. And all that you do, stand in faith, grow in faith, and keep sharing your faith. Tell the world about Jesus, because Jesus unlocks new experiences.
June, Jesus unlocks new experiences. A 30-day experience with the greatest person ever. Visit www.askdammy.com/June.